These notes will cover pairs of angles. Make sure to take notes, guys. You have to pause, take notes, try to work the problems, pause between the problems, see if you're getting the same thing. This is the only way you will master. Of course, this is not a hard topic or anything like that, but I just want you guys to be able to take notes when I'm not there and I give you these slideshows, okay? Alright, so first, adjacent angles. What I need you to do is pause the video and I want you to write this vocabulary, this term and the definition, okay? Adjacent angles. Adjacent angles are two angles in the same plane with a common vertex and common side, but no common interior points. What this means is just two angles. You see here, you have angle 1, you have angle 1 and you have angle 2, and they share a side. You see? They share a side and they are side by side. These are adjacent angles. It would help if I turn on my pen. Alright, so these are adjacent angles. Angle 1 and angle 2. They're side by side. They share a side. They are adjacent angles, okay? And then you have a linear pair. A linear pair means how many? 2. So 2 angles. Only 2 angles. And they are adjacent and they form a line, okay? So they both form a line. So what does that mean? We know that a line, this angle measure is 180 degrees, right? So you have a linear pair. Angle 1 and angle 2, they are a linear pair. They are adjacent and they form a line. So a linear pair. Make sure you pause the video to write this term and the definition, okay? Linear pair, very important. So you have adjacent angles, angles that are side by side, and then you have a linear pair. They're also adjacent, but they also form a straight line. Same thing here. You see how this line is turned, how these two angles are turned? Still, angle 1 and angle 2, they form a linear pair, okay? A linear pair. They form a straight line, a pair. Alright, so what we're going to do now is jump right into an example. You will tell whether the angles are adjacent, or if they are adjacent and they form a linear pair, or if they are not adjacent. So let's look at the first one. Let's look at angles 3 and 2. Here's angle 3, and here's angle 2. Look at that. First of all, they're side by side, so they are adjacent. And they form a line, so they are also a linear pair. So they are adjacent and form a linear pair. Alright, next, angle 4 and angle SPM. So I'm going to erase. Alright, so now we have angle 4 and angle SPM. So here's angle 4. So here to here is angle 4. And then they have angle SPM. So angle 4 and this angle. Alright guys, this is usually a tricky question in class. A lot of people want to say that these are adjacent, but they are not. They don't share a side. Angle 4 is actually inside of angle SPM, and so they are not adjacent. And of course, since they're not adjacent, they do not form a linear pair. Alright, let's look at angle 4 and angle 1. We have angle 4 and angle 1. Here's angle 4. So this angle they're talking about. Here's angle 1. Alright, if you look, they are they do share the line, but it's not a pair. There's another angle in between. So that's 1, 2, 3 angles. They are not side by side. They do not share a side, so they are not adjacent. We will have lots of practice, guys. All right, and last, you have angle 1 and angle RPS. Angle 1 and angle RPS. We already have angle 1 highlighted. All right, so angle R, and don't forget to follow. You go from R to P to S. So they're talking about this angle. So if you notice, these two angles, angle 1 and angle RPS, they are adjacent, right? They share that ray, PR, they share that side. So they are adjacent. But do they form a linear pair? No, they do not, because if I combine those two angles, they do not form a straight line. So they're just adjacent. All right, let's move on to complementary angles. This is where you need to pause the video and write this definition. Complementary angles. Complementary angles are two angles whose measures have a sum of 90 degrees. So if I have a 30-degree angle and a 60-degree angle, they add up to equal 90, so they are complementary, okay? And of course, complementary angles, if they add up to equal 90, they form a right angle, okay? So complementary angles are two angles whose measures have a sum of 90 degrees. Complementary. All right, so we're going to find the complement of angle P. Angle P is 50 degrees. Complement of. Make sure you understand, if I ever ask for the complement of, it will be 90 minus whatever I am asking for. So I'm asking for the complement of angle P. Angle P is 50 degrees. So 90 minus 50 is 40 degrees. So the complement of angle P is 40 degrees. The complement of angle P is 40 degrees. That's it, okay? 90 minus complement. All right, so then we move on to supplementary angles. Supplementary angles are two angles whose measures have a sum of 180. So again, if I have a straight line 180, if I have a 30-degree angle, I know the supplement to 30 degrees is 150 degrees because they both add together to equal 180, okay? Once we start working on these problems, it will be very easy for you, guys. I promise it will be. All right, supplementary angles are two angles whose measures have a sum of 180. So complementary angles, if we go back, add up to equal 90, a right angle, and supplementary angles add up to equal 180. So now let's find the supplement of angle P. Very important, supplement of. So this means 180 minus whatever we're asking for. So we're asking for the supplement of angle P, which is 50 degrees. So you have 180 minus 50, which is 130. So the supplement of angle P is 130 degrees. That's all I'm asking for. All right, so now let's find the supplement of angle F. I want you to pause the video and you find the supplement of angle F. All right, supplement, that means they add up to equal 180. Supplement of, so it's 180 minus, and this time it's going to be 180 minus 47.2. So we have 180 minus 47.2, and you should get 132.8. So the supplement of angle F is 132.8 degrees. All right, let's find the complement of angle M. Oh, that should not be complement. It should be supplement. Sorry, y'all. Write that down. The supplement. Why can I not find the complement of angle M? Somebody email that. Once you pause the video, email, first person email gets bonus points. Why can I not find the complement of angle M? All right, find the supplement of angle M. So we have supplement is 180 minus 116.5. And you should get 63.5. So the supplement of angle M is 63.5 degrees. All right, now let's find the complement of angle A. Complement, how many degrees? Complement of, so it's going to be 90 minus. And just because we have a variable, nothing changes, guys, okay? So you have 90 minus, angle A is 7x minus 12. So you have 90 minus 7x minus 12. Now you just do your algebra, guys. 90 minus, don't forget to evenly distribute. That negative distributes. So I have 90 minus 7x plus 12. Combine like terms. I have 90 plus 12, which is 102, minus 7x. So the complement of angle A is 102 minus 7x degrees. The complement of angle A is 102 minus 7x degrees. Complement of 90 minus. All right, now let's find the supplement of angle A. Supplement, how many degrees is that? Supplement of 180 minus. All right, so 180 minus 7x minus 12. Distribute that negative. Don't forget to do that. 180 minus 7x plus 12. So 180 plus 12 is 192 minus 7x. So the supplement of angle A is 192 minus 7x degrees. I told you guys, we won't have those little basic answers anymore. You know, you won't get x equals 5. Sometimes things will look like it's not right, but it is. Just be confident. Have confidence in yourself. All right, next, we're going to move on to vertical angles, okay? Vertical angles are two non-adjacent angles formed by two intersecting lines, okay? So if you look, these two lines, they're intersecting. And where they cross, they form these angles. You see? Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4. Vertical angles, they're non-adjacent. So I always explain just like this. Angle 1 and 3, they're right across from each other. They are vertical angles. So angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical. All right, so look at angle 4 and angle 2. They're right across from one another. So they are vertical. So angle 2 and angle 4 are vertical. I just need you guys to be able to recognize vertical angles because we will use them lots. We will use lots of vertical angles. So make sure you pause the video, write that definition. Vertical angles, two non-adjacent angles formed by intersecting lines. So here, I will ask you, identify the vertical angles. Pause the video and just try to identify the vertical angles. Alright, so here you have your two intersecting lines. I know that this angle and this angle, these two angles are vertical. So angle ABC, sorry y'all, angle ABC and angle DBE are vertical angles. And I also know that angle ABD and angle CBE are also vertical angles. That's all you need to do right now is be able to identify vertical angles. They're just across from one another. That's the best way to explain it. They're formed by intersecting lines and they're right across from each other. They're not next to each other, but across opposite sides. Now, I need you to understand, and I need you to write this down, highlight it. Vertical angles have the same measures. So here, angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical angles. And angle 3, they're vertical. And if they're vertical, that also means they are congruent. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. Okay? So the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 3. That's what that means, okay? Same thing. So angle 4 and angle 2 are vertical angles. And they are also equal in measure. So the measure of angle 4 is equal to the measure of angle 2. So vertical angles they have the same measure, guys, okay? Make sure you pause and write that down. Very important. All right, let's go into some examples. Here, I want you to find the value of x. What do we know about these two angles? We know that they are on a straight line and that they both add up to equal 180. You have a linear pair here, okay? So they add up to equal 180. I know this angle, 141, plus this angle, x plus 4, equals 180 degrees. And then I solve for x. I have 141 plus 4, which is 145, plus x equals 180. I subtract 145 from both sides. And x equals 35. All right, next, let's find the value of x. All right, we have here, not a linear pair, but they are complementary, right? They both add up to equal how many degrees? 90. And so if they add up to equal 90 degrees, that's just what you write. I know this angle, 40, plus this angle, 5x, equals 90, okay? And we know that. Plus you see the box here, right? Right angle box. All right, we combine like terms. We solve for x, subtract 40 from both sides. 5x equals 50. Divide both sides by 5. And x equals 10. You have lots of practice, guys. All right, let's find the value of x. Again, we have a linear pair, right? Straight line. I know both of these angles add up to equal 180. So I know x minus 3 plus 1 plus 6x equals 180. Combine like terms. 7x minus 2 equals 180. Add 2 to both sides. 7x equals 182. Divide both sides by 7. and x equals 26. Again, I'll give you lots of practice. Make sure to work on the problems on the CUDA software that we have. You have lots of options, lots of practice, guys. That's all it's going to take. Okay, again, look at these two angles. We know they add up to equal what? 90. So that's what you do. You make them add to equal 90. I know 4x plus 2 plus 2x plus 4 equals 90. Combine like terms. 6x plus 6 equals 90. Subtract 6 from both sides. 6x equals 54. Divide both sides by 6. And x equals 9. Alright guys, if you have any questions, of course, you can email me anytime. Alright, I will see you guys soon.